Welcome back to our 2014 high school football preview. We've taken a look at Lawton High and Eisenhower, but the city school that saw the most success in 2013 was MacArthur. The Highlanders finished 10-3 and advanced all the way to the state semifinals before falling to undefeated McAllister.
Mac has consistently been one of the best programs in 5A over the past 5 years. The Highlanders have won 10 or more games 3 times since 2010. MacArthur has a good chance to be one of the top teams in its class once again in 2014. We'll catch up with 2 important pieces of that MAC program. But first, here's a refresher on the 2013 Highlanders.
After MacArthur fell to 2-2 with a Week 4 loss to 2012 district champion Del City, few people expected much out of the Highlanders. But suddenly, Mac's offense caught fire and the Highlanders marched on an 8-game winning streak to the 5A District 1 championship. The emergence of Corey Robinson in the backfield helped lead Mac to victories over Deer Creek and Pryor in the playoffs. But in the 5A semifinals, the McAllister Buffaloes stampeded over the Highlanders 56-20 and sent Mac home for the season. Now MacArthur looks to 2014 and what should be another promising year.
Now to help us take a closer look at the 2014 season, we welcome in MacArthur head coach Brett Manning. Coach, just taking a look back at last year, obviously another great season here at Mac. You guys make it all the way to the state semifinals. How has that success impacted this team, especially in the workouts over the offseason?
It's made them hungry. You know, we had a really good year and we finished really good. You know, we started 2-2 and had a lot of problems and got those straightened out and had a really good run there at the end, and that's just kind of made us hungry to get in the weight room and do our job in there, and we've got a lot of experience and a lot of really good kids back, and we're excited. We think we can have a chance at a really good year.
Yeah, you mentioned you have a lot of starters back. Let's start talking about the defense a little bit. Obviously, you can bring 8 starters back, but you do lose a couple of all-staters in Mitchell Fritz and Terrence Grimsley. Who are some guys who are going to step up into those roles and be the new leaders of this defense?
Well, you know, with our linebacking core, you know, it's all going to be new, at least the 2 inside guys, and we've got a good battle going. We've got 4 guys for those 2 spots that nobody's really separated themselves right now. We've got Anthony Williams and Brian Burns and Cody Corvey and Jace Cummings and actually Keegan Smith too. We've got 5 guys battling for those 2 spots and feel like all of them can play. We just right now don't have any starters there, but they're having a good linebacker battle. And then on the defensive line, you know, we're really thick on both sides of the ball on the line, and we're going to have guys that are going to roll in. You know, we don't necessarily have a Terrence Grimsley, but we've got some really good, solid, strong kids in there that we feel like can do a good job too.
Okay, now taking a look at the offense, you know, I was out here at practice the other day, and it seems like you guys have more size, especially up front, than you've had in the past. How much does that help heading into this year?
It helps a lot, and you know, those guys, you know, our starting offensive line, you know, I think 3 of them were starters as sophomores, and you know, they were weak and small as sophomores, and we really struggled 2 years ago on the offensive line, and now we feel like they're bigger, they're stronger, and obviously experienced after starting for 2 seasons. So, you know, feel like it's a strength for our team, and it can be a really great offensive line, maybe even the best offensive line MacArthur's ever had.
Now, I can't let you go without talking about your quarterback, Will Collins. Obviously, you got some great experience last year. Just take a look back at him from last year to this year. How much has he grown as a quarterback?
Will works really hard. He's an extremely good kid and has worked really hard on all of his quarterback skills and his leadership skills, and I expect great things from him. He had over 3,000 yards last year, combined rushing and passing, and you know, he's a great athlete and has really grown up as far as his leadership ability and his knowledge of the game, and you know, I'm really proud of everything he's done so far, and can't wait to see what kind of senior year he has.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
All right, now let's send it over to Colin Deaver, who is live with that quarterback, Will Collins.
All right, thanks, Kyle. And yes, I am with Mr. Will Collins, the MacArthur quarterback. Really came on strong at the end of last year to become one of the best quarterbacks in Class 5A, accounted for over 30 touchdowns a season ago. He did us the honor of sitting down with us to talk about the upcoming season. I know you were big across the camp circuit all summer long, going to multiple camps across the state, across the country. What did you learn the most from those camps?
Well, the first camp I went to was the Nike football camp. I learned that I needed to get, you know, not physically better, just mentally. You know, I was with the top guys in the nation. I needed to figure out, you know, that I'm capable of being with these guys or better than these guys. And then I went to the 11, and it was the same thing. You know, I was throwing with the top quarterbacks in the nation, the top 70 quarterbacks in the entire nation, and I just realized, you know, I'm up there. You know, at first I was like, you know, I'm a small town kid. I don't know if I deserved that hype, but I did. You know, I figured out I was that good.
You did lose 3 big play guys in Barry Williams, Gary McKnight, and Corey Robinson off last year's team. Who are some guys that are stepping up for you and who can make some plays for you this year?
It's going to be tough to replace them, but we're going to. You know, one of my top targets is Deion James over the middle. You know, I mean, he's the best route runner I've ever seen. We got Lorenzo West, who runs a 4.4 on the outside. I mean, he's just faster than Gary. He's just not as tall, but I mean, he can outrun anyone in the state. And then we got Quez replacing Barry, and Quez is just one of those guys that you can trust, you know.
Coach Manning mentioned earlier that this could be one of the best offensive lines in MacArthur history. How much does that make your job easier, having that nice offensive line in front of you?
Last year, I was kind of always thinking, like, man, I might be able to run this one, or should I stay in and throw it and risk getting hit? But this year, I have no worries. I just want to stay in the pocket and just throw the balls like wherever I want, because I have all the time in the world.
2013 was your first year as a starting quarterback. How much do you feel like you've grown in the last year as a quarterback?
Last year, I kind of just like relied on just athletic ability, and this year, you know, I'm going through pre-snap reads. I'm reading everything. Like I'm trying to beat you, but I'm also mentally trying to beat you, because I mean, that's what you have to do.
For the 3rd year in a row, MacArthur will open the season against 4A power Clinton. The Highlanders have gotten the best of the Red Tornadoes in their 2 previous meetings. Mac returns to Lott in the next 2 weeks to face inner-city rivals Lott High on September 12th and Eisenhower on September 19th.
MacArthur really dives into 5A District 1 play in the second half of the season. Mac hosts Duncan on October 9th before traveling to Ardmore the next week. The Highlanders also get Del City at home on Halloween in a matchup of the last 2 district champions.
And you look at it, Del City is a team Mac has not had much success against. They lost to the Eagles 2 years in a row. We'll see if this year is any different.
Well, we can't let you go without checking out the area landscape. So coming up next, you'll hear from the 2 returning champions from Southwest Oklahoma.
Before we end our preview show, we have to take a look at the area landscape. 4 local teams played for state titles a year ago, and 2 of them brought championships back to Southwest Oklahoma.
Anadarko and Hollis were arguably the 2 most dominant teams in any class. They combined to go 28-0 last year. Now here's a peek at what we can expect from both teams in 2014.
A 61-5 record, 3 trips to the state finals, and 2 championships. That's Anadarko's resume over the last 5 years, and it's one that no program in the state of Oklahoma can match. Not Jinx, not Union, not anybody. And guess what? The Warriors are loaded again in 2014. They bring back 7 starters on both sides of the ball. Now their sights set on doing something they've never done, and that's win back-to-back gold balls.
They've won a lot of football games. They know what it's like to win, and they know the work that's involved to do that, and they're excited about it. And, you know, you win one and you get the whole off season to celebrate it, but when you come back, you're ready to go win another one. And I think that's the attitude that we're going to have is we know that, you know, we've been the hunted for the last several years, and we understand that role, and hopefully we can stay ahead of the pack.
Among those 14 returning starters is quarterback Brandon Pollard. In his first year as the Warriors signal caller, Pollard accounted for nearly 2,500 total yards and 34 touchdowns.
You know, as far as the defensive coordinator is concerned, he's tough to stop because he can do both. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball, and probably, and I've told a lot of people, what makes him most dangerous is when he breaks from the pocket, people think he's going to run, but he looks downfield, and that's when we have our big pass plays.
One of the few starting spots up for grabs in fall camp is running back. The Warriors graduated a 2-year starter in R.J. Sink. In his place steps a pair of seniors, Tremaine Wadua and Louis Farina, who bring a different dimension to the position.
They might be more of a pounder up the middle. Louis is a little flashy like RJ was, but Tremaine, he's a go-getter. He's up the middle, get you 8 yards at a time.
The Warriors' stiffest competition in Class 4A may again come within their own district. Clinton is expected to rebound from a down year in 2013. Those 2 heavyweights will square off October 3rd in Anadarko.
No team in Class A could stop Hollis in 2013. The Tigers steamrolled to an undefeated season, and Christmas came early in Hollis when they defeated defending champ Ringling 29-12 for the first state title in school history.
It means a lot for our football program, not only for that, but our community. You know, it's huge. They hadn't had a state championship here, and these kids have worked hard and earned that. And, you know, I think it's a big building block for our football program with the younger kids, too.
The glory of that December night has faded,
All right, here we go.
It's a new year and a new team, but one with quite a few faces returning from the crew that won the gold ball. The Tigers returned 7 starters from both the offense and the defense. With any championship team, coaches worry about complacency the next year, but the Tigers say it hasn't been an issue.
You know, I didn't see any of that with complacency and just satisfied with winning last year. I think these kids are hungry and ready to go take another shot at the state title.
Max is real motivated, but big deal is we're going to be at the target now. We're going to be getting 100. So we got to be ready for anything that's going to be at us. We're not afraid to step up. Whatever happens, happens.
The Tigers will begin the defense of their state championship on September 5th against Wellington. Hollis will play a tough district schedule, but with the experience of last year's success driving them, don't be surprised to see Hollis among the Class A elite once again.
They're excited. They're ready to go. So, you know, we're looking for another exciting year with them.
Other than Hollis and Anadarko, Tipton and Ringling bring back talented squads. You factor in Lott High and MacArthur in the larger classes, and there's a pretty good chance we'll have more state champions in 2014.
Now, if we didn't get to your team this week, don't worry. We'll be heading all over Southwest Oklahoma in the next few weeks, so there's a pretty good chance we'll be featuring them at some point on 7 News at 6. For Colin, Deaver, I'm Kyle Weatherly. Thanks for joining us.